Hello folks, let's go back to the classroom. I'm going to give you a little bit of a whiteboard demonstration of what our design does and why, and the scientific term that I like to give for the way our product works. First of all, I've just given, and excuse my drawing here because I am a golf pro and a putter designer, not an artist, but this is the side of the golf ball, and again, I've told you that it's 1.68 inches in diameter. The medium point of the golf ball, which is going to be located at 0.84, and we're not going to split atoms here. The ball's sitting on an imperfect surface of grass, you know that, but in the middle of that golf ball, in the middle of that circle is the center of gravity of the golf ball. That's where the ball is going to turn around, and that's really pretty much where you want to hit it. It's the only place you can hit it because that's the part of the golf ball that sticks out closest to the collision. So I've drawn here, closer to the golf ball, a conventional putter design. And the conventional putter design is got a top line that's somewhere around 0.84 inches. There's very few putters that I've measured that have been, instrumental in the game, where they've been widely used and widely accepted for great performance. Very few of them that measure anywhere near up to an inch in total height. So they're always just under an inch, around 7/8, 5/8 to 7/8. So that being said, this is their profile to the golf ball, and when you measure the sweet spot on those, they're always below 1/2 of an inch because of the way they've configured the weight down and away from the hitting surface. So that lines up specifically just like this. Here's your contact point, and there's their sweet spot. You've got to develop a thrust or a stroke that brings this point up to give you a great collision, and in the process you're probably going to hit up into it and produce a lift angle that we don't necessarily recommend. So that's the reason for our design. We need to get away from that blueprint, and here's a little bit of an outline of what we did. As you can see, that a traditional profile is that step down weighting, the thin top line. We said now we want a little bit more of a top line to help bring that weight up, and we want it also to be a little bit easier to aim, so it's a little simpler to look at. And then again, if you want a line, you want a dot, whatever you want to decorate the top, we'll give you. Again, we know you don't need it because this putter works no matter how you aim it almost. Anyway, so with that profile, we've gone up. We're over an inch in height, so that we know the top line of our putter is well above that contact point, because we're at 0.84 here, we're at 1 1/8 inches, and better than that, we've raised that sweet spot. So we're somewhere right around 3/4 of an inch, just underneath that point where the collision is going to take place. So our club's going to be stable along that line, and more importantly, because our club's deeper, you're going to have a tendency to stroke straighter back and straight through, to not feel like you have to hit up as much. So we've taken, I think for the first time in putter design, and we've actually aligned the 3 components that are actually producing the impact. So the impact and the roll. So we've taken, and because of the profile, we've given you an opportunity, and I've seen this through high-speed video of just people's tendencies. When we give them our product, they invariably stroke straighter back and straighter through. There's not as much up and down arc naturally, because again, they're not searching for that square collision or that sweet spot collision. And in the process of putting the stroke in line with the contact and putting the sweet spot there, we've created what scientists would call a centric collision. So centric collision is going to be a new word for the golf industry. I'll abbreviate collision, but centric meaning everything's in line, everything's centered. So the byproduct of a centric collision, you're going to see through our quintic roll data, you get a much better launch environment with more consistency, a wider, more user-friendly sweet spot, because all these forces are working in the direction that you want to take the golf ball, which is towards the hole, not in the air. And with that, the stability of the entire system is intact. So, not to be scientific, but golf is geometrically oriented linear force. It is a scientific thing. There's a lot of things going on. These points we've proven. We've actually sat with very experienced scientists and physicists, people that evaluate the math and science of all different things every day, and we wanted their version of what the science of golf is in relation to our version. And this is where you can actually get down to nitty-gritty and realize that there is something significant happening here, and we're very proud to be the ones that take it to the market. And we think that you're going to soon see, especially with the product that you purchase from us, that there's a huge benefit to putting these forces in line and giving you a product that naturally inclines you to do that. So stay tuned.